Is it possible to let go into abundance, to surrender and receive the abundance you are ready for? I'd like to talk about this relationship to abundance in a way that may resonate differently than how it's typically talked about, to how our brains are conditioned to believe it's meant to be achieved, mine included. When you hear about people creating wealth, and abundance is not simply about financial wealth, as I'll speak to, but it's certainly one of the markers, one of the indicators that our mind looks for to identify abundance, though plenty of people are deeply poor, spiritually poor, with lots of money. And plenty of people with lots of money don't feel rich. And when I use that word, I think of royalty, comfort, feeling rich, feeling the weight, like the weight of a weighted blanket. Like you truly have all you need. You truly have all you need and more. And plenty of people with lots of money still feel scrappy on the inside. Like they need to put out tremendous effort to either maintain their wealth or to scan for anyone attempting to take their wealth, or just to be on guard. To me, that is not wealth. What's the point of having money if you have to be on guard all the time, fearful of who's going to take it from you? That's not my idea of inner abundance, of truly knowing that you are provided for. And so the way that that's talked about, the way that you achieve that in the collective mind, the collective ego mind's view of society, is that you work for it, you grind into it, you sell, you make things, you create, you become of value to others. Even in the spiritual community, that's talked about. It's add value, just add value, keep adding value. Or if you're creating like content like this, like media content, like just keep adding value to people. Don't ask for anything in return. Just keep adding value. But there's a very manipulative game going on under the surface. It's like, yes, I'll keep being of service, so one day they return the favor, or one day they refer me. It's this warped sense of service and a warped sense of creating abundance, because we are stuck in that paradigm that only when I've given enough will I get. Only when I've given enough will I receive. And it's a fine idea. It's not, there's nothing wrong with it, but can you even conceive of the possibility that we can just open up to abundance and receive it for no work, just through the deserving worthiness of our soul, just through alignment with what is meant for us? I understand most people may not be able to wrap their heads around that. You might say, all right, I can get the idea that money isn't everything, but the idea that you can just receive it? What do you mean? Like for nothing? No, not for nothing. For love, for knowing that in your heart you are deserving and worthy, and that you are aligned with the frequency of abundance. Now, I know plenty of people talk about this idea of like manifestation, and it can get really woo and like, just believe you're abundant and all the money will come to you. Just, and this, I know that this idea sounds very much like that, but I'm not exactly talking about just visualize money and get it, or just, tune into the frequency money and it will appear. It's more the idea that, can you even imagine, can you even feel the possibility of being able to receive, of just being worthy of receiving, not just financial wealth, but love, love. Can you imagine just being worthy of being taken care of being provided for? Now, that can be very threatening, particularly to a lot of masculine identities, because it's drilled into us societally that no, that we should be the caretakers, we should be the providers. But this idea, it's not to say you're just uh, that the goal is just to be like loafing off of people and not being of service. It's more the idea that you don't need to work for abundance. You can simply be of service because it's in your nature. It's what we're here to do. It's what I'm here to do. And the abundance flows because I'm worthy of receiving it. On the surface, it seems like, yeah, so you work, you're of service, and you are rewarded for it. That's certainly one way of looking at it, and I won't argue with you or debate that. Seems to make sense on in the 3D realm and what we see. Yeah, oh yeah, you're getting paid for your services. But to come closer to the spiritual realm, to what I believe is an ultimate reality, is that actually spirit flows through everything. And we can be rewarded simply by coming into this knowing, simply by healing, simply by aligning with the path of healing. And we can heal issues around money, karmic issues, ancestral issues, whatever issues there may be, by letting go. It's a strange idea. It's a little challenging for me to talk about it even because it's something I'm going through now. But it's just become very clear to me that the past year of my life, I haven't been meant to grind. I just haven't been meant to grind. I grinded for a long time through my graduate program, through my time at a clinic after that. And I just saw the life people were living theoretically in service of abundance, but there was no abundance to be found. There was money flowing for people putting in the hours, but there was not an inner sense of abundance, of comfort, and everyone's always feeling on the edge of not making enough, or, well, if I don't put in this many hours a week, I'm going to lose. And I was wrapped up in it too. Like, okay, I just finished all this training. Well, now I just need to work even, now I can get paid for my work. So now it really matters that I'm putting in all the hours. And I mean, for me, the message was clear because I was sick. So, then things are really in perspective. When you're sick, when your body is communicating, you know, then it becomes clear what the value system is. You're just not going to be killing yourself for the money. For what? There's no inner richness there. Though I've danced with this lesson throughout the past year and a half because it was clear to me that I was meant to leave, but then the mind can subtly creep in and say, okay, well, now you're going to work really hard at your own thing. Now that it's your own thing, now you can really work hard at it. Now you can really put in the hours. It's like, wait a second. This wasn't just about having my own thing, this was about the lifestyle. This was about the unconscious beliefs we were agreeing to. I was agreeing to about what it means to be abundant and how to actually align with what is meant for you and to allow yourself to receive and be supported. And I've been tested throughout this journey. Really, looking at my bank account and being like, I can't really conceive in this moment of how I'm meant to have a livelihood. And yet I'm here. I'm here and actually in a really cool place. And like with just as many resources as I had back then. Anyway, with having like theoretically worked like an astronomically less amount. Now, when I speak to surrender and letting go, I'm not saying you're just like going to be a couch potato and you're like, it's not that idea of, oh, I don't have to work for a living. Yay. Because that's not my goal. I like what I do. I like to be of service. I don't actually think, I think if you're not aligning with a kind of mission, a kind of service, there's an emptiness in that. And because I believe we all have one. We're all here to give. We are all here to give. The idea, as confusing as it may come out, is that we can give through receiving. By allowing ourselves to be supported, the most aligned opportunities to serve emerge. Like I could be chasing an audience or chasing clients or chasing whatever through social media or however people do it. And have nothing come from that. Maybe something could come from that, though it would not feel aligned for me. It would not be an integrity because that's just the message I get. It's just very clear to me that's not, and that may be aligned for other people. It's just not for me to be chasing in that way. Or I could just let go. I could just let go. And the immediate fear is, well, if you just let go, nothing will happen. That idea of you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. In one context, that can be true. If you are being guided to do something and there's fear in your way, then yes, you won't show the universe that you're ready for this. But if the fear is actually of letting go, and that's what you're being asked to do, and you're holding on and you're resisting and you're still trying to make things work in the other direction with an emphasis on money and things that are supposed to create safety and that sense of comfort and royalty feeling, but actually don't, just keep you stuck in that old paradigm of working enough hours and blah, 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 then the actual exposure, the actual shot to take is to let go. And trust that when your service is required, the opportunity will appear. And I've learned this lesson many times and continue to learn it. that the opportunities to serve have not been ones that I've chased down and won or gotten or like earned on one level. I've just received them. I've just received them. And it didn't happen in some like when I say received them, it's not like, you know, a carrier pigeon dropped them off. Like it happened in a reasonable way. I met someone and created an opportunity. You know, it happened in a very natural, organic way, but it was in flow. I didn't force it. And I think of all the people who are so wrapped up in the grind. And there's this interesting thing happening where there's more freedom than ever before to work for yourself, to use online media to just do your own thing, start a company, be an influencer, whatever. And there's people like Gary Vee and Tony Robbins who are like champions of this independent financial freedom kind of thing. And there's tons of value in that because it's good for people to see the opportunities that you don't simply have to sacrifice your life for corporations, for that there are other ways to do this. So it's good. I'm all for expanding possibilities. However, my suspicion is that people end up working even harder when they try to take that route. Because the whole idea behind it is, yeah, you can have financial freedom, but you better grind it out. You better work twice as hard, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know, maybe it is true for some that to start a particular kind of company, whatever, you need to put in that. But again, I think we're closing down our belief system. And I'd like to expand it even further that not only can you have financial freedom, you can have freedom from the need to grind yourself in the ground, to sacrifice your life for money rather than aligning your life with money in the sense that your service can be in alignment with your lifestyle. And maybe as a result, your lifestyle needs to change a little bit to come more. If you're not living in alignment anyway, if you're putting things in your body, uh, involved in activities that aren't supporting your health and your healing, consider that that's not in alignment for your abundance. Even, especially if you're sacrificing your health for money, that's not abundance, in my opinion. It's like, oh, I just need to sacrifice my 20s and 30s so that I can, what? So then you can enjoy your 40s. What do you think's going to happen when you get to 40? You're going to flip a switch and you'll be like, okay, I'm going to be healthy now. No, you spent 20 years and likely longer than that conditioning your brain that this is so you spent that amount of time, most of your life, signaling to the universe that this is the only way you're open to receiving wealth. So no, you're not going to be able to receive. You're not just going to be able to unlearn all of that, not easily at least, because it's the other way around. Open to receiving, open to receiving, and then you can be guided to serve in a way that aligns with your life. So you can live the life you imagine having in your 40s, 50s, 60s, but do so with service. Do still work. The sort of black and white dichotomy of like, I'll work for this amount of years and my life will suck, and then I'll quit. My life will be amazing. I don't really believe that unless it was really aligned for you to do it that way. Like karmically, it was because if you're not open to receiving, you're not just going to be able to lay on a beach. You're not just going to be able to feel abundant. Even if you have all the money, you're likely those conditioned beliefs and that wiring that abundance isn't, it's not allowed that way, even though you did technically earn it. I don't think you're going to have a very good time on that beach in that retirement. What if you could practice living in retirement now and experiment with doing the thing you might pick up just out of pure joy and do it now? And I know that idea that, well, I don't want to turn what I love into a business. Then don't. Just do it. We just have all this fear around abundance, around money, around how it's supposed to be earned, around how and around how much is enough. And so for me, abundance is it is a goal, but it's an inner goal. It's not an outer goal. The goal is only to feel abundant. The way it looks on the outside, I believe, is meant to remain a mystery. If you want to make one, five, $10 million, if that's the goal, there's something very restrictive about it. Because what if you were meant to feel abundant with less money than that? And it's hard for us to wrap our head around, well, how could I be abundant with less? Quite easily, quite easily, because money it's not an inherent worth. It's just something we give worth. So quite easily, actually, and quite easily, you can feel totally lacking with $20 million. So this all comes back to the idea that can you even imagine that the universe might support you for letting go? And you may have to practice seeing beyond your current circumstances, trusting that when it's time, more will be asked of you and more will be asked of me. And I'll likely look back on the last year of my life and say, wow, what a beautiful time where the universe was providing me space to heal issues around love, issues around money, issues around what it means to work to align with my highest service, to align with what I would do regardless of money. That's the life and the lifestyle I've been cultivating is what I would do for or without money, what I would do before or after I had wealth is this is it. And if you can align with that, there is no need to fantasize about what's coming next. You're creating the life now. And, I have the thoughts too of, oh, but won't it be great when I have lots of money? Certain things might be easier. But again, what is the outer really giving us, if not the inner experience of being abundant? And what is abundance if it is not actually just trusting that you are cared for, that you are provided, that you are supported? And certainly, maybe you get tested, as I feel I've been tested to have faith, because it's easy to have faith that you're supported when the circumstances say that, when you literally have lots of things. It's when you don't have so many things that you grow into this faith, into this trust, into this belief, into this knowing that all will be well, that all will be provided, that all is here for you. This is the abundant way. This is my way. The path of surrendering into abundance, letting go into abundance. Quite beautiful to think about, to consider the possibilities of receiving your way into the life of your dreams, to opening your way into your highest vision. This is my guidance, my vision. Can it be yours too? Let's find out together. Take care.